What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another brand new installment of Renegades Reviews, exclusively here as always on the Casa D18 Studios channel. I, of course, am your host, the Renegade J.J. Williams, and today we're going to take a slight step outside the Universal Monster movies to talk about a movie from 1932 that although it features one of the Universal monster actors, is not a Universal film. And that is White Zombie, starring Bela Lugosi, Madge Bellamy, Joseph Cawthorn, Robert W. Fraser, John Herron, and Brandon Hurst. What's going on, everybody? Thank you for joining me here once again for another brand new installment of Renegades Reviews. Like I said during the introduction, this one we're going to take a little step outside of the Universal Monsters franchise, but we're going to discuss another film with the legendary Bela Lugosi, White Zombie, which is historically significant because it is one of the first, if not the first, full-length motion pictures focusing on zombies. And then, of course, it's the film in which Rob Zombie would later adopt the name for his band in the 90s there. Now, our movie opens with Madeline Short arriving in Haiti, where she reunites with her fiancé, Neil Parker, with imminent plans to be married. On the way to their lodging, the couple's coach passes Murder Legendre, an evil voodoo master who observes them with interest. And Murder Legendre is Bela Lugosi. Neil and Madeline then arrive at the home of wealthy plantation owner Charles Beaumont. Now, Charles's love of Madeline prompts him to meet with Murder Legendre secretly in Legendre's sugarcane mill, which is operated entirely by zombies. Charles wants to convince Madeline to marry him, so he solicits Legendre's supernatural assistance. Legendre states that the only way to help Charles is to transform Madeline into a zombie with a potion. Beaumont agrees, takes the potion, and surreptitiously gives it to Madeline. Shortly after Madeline and Neil's wedding ceremony, the potion takes its effect on Madeline, who soon dies and is buried. Legendre and Charles enter Madeline's tomb at night and bring her back to life as a zombie. In a drunken state, a depressed Neil sees ghostly apparitions of Madeline and goes to her tomb. When he finds it empty, Neil seeks out the assistance of the local missionary, Dr. Brunner, who recounts how Legendre turned many of his rivals into zombies, who now act as Legendre's closest guardians. The two men then journey to Legendre's cliffside castle to rescue Madeline, and at the castle, Charles has begun to regret Madeline's transformation and begs Legendre to return her back to life, but Legendre refuses. Charles discovers that he has been tainted by Legendre's voodoo and is also beginning to transform into a zombie. And as Neil enters the fortress, Legendre senses his presence and silently orders Madeline to kill Neil. She approaches Neil with a knife, but Brunner grabs her hand from behind a curtain, making her drop the knife and walk away. Neil follows Madeline to an escarpment where Legendre commands his zombie guardians to kill Neil. Brunner approaches Legendre and knocks him out, breaking Legendre's mental control over all of his zombies. Now with no direction, the zombies begin to topple off of a cliff. Legendre awakens and eludes Neil and Brunner, but Charles pushes Legendre off of the cliff. Charles loses his balance, though, and also falls to his death. And Legendre's death releases Madeline from her zombie trance, and she awakens to embrace Neil as our film comes to its close. As you can tell, this is going to be a short one today. because I'm already done with the synopsis. This film itself only ran about an hour, hour and 10 minutes. And if you notice, a lot of these old horror movies run about that length, which I really kind of enjoy because there's not a whole lot of filler in them. You go back, you think about how we talked about some of the DC movies and how there was so much filler that could have been cut out to make a better movie. And it's really hard pressed to find a lot of filler in these. You know, it's really easy for me to do these and do them as like a double feature at night because I can get through 2 movies in about the same amount of time as one Marvel film. To kind of put that into contrast there. White Zombie, if I'm being perfectly honest, is not the greatest movie. It's still a little bit boring. It's very hokey. I even try to take a step back, like we heard Heath say when he talked in the Frankenstein review yesterday, the little clip we rolled. I even tried to take a step back and think about it at the time. But I've never really been sucked into zombies. You know, Night of the Living Dead notwithstanding, and we will get there at the end of the month, but I've never really gotten sucked into the zombie genre. However, as I stated in the beginning of the review, this film is significant and I needed to address it because of the fact that it's one of, if not the first, full-length zombie films ever to be produced. And then also, like I touched on, the fact that Rob Zombie lifted the title of this movie for his band back in the 90s obviously shows some significance to him. And you figure he's gone on to do 2 Rob Zombie Halloween movies, House of a Thousand Corpses, Devil's Rejects, 3 from Hell, and he's now doing the Munsters reboot movie. So clearly it inspired him in quite a few ways. Other than that, though, honestly, I can take or leave this film. It's a part of my big 50 film box set that I own, which, granted, I didn't buy the set for this film. I bought it primarily for Hunchback of Notre Dame, Phantom of the Opera, House on Haunted Hill. There's a few others in there that I have reviewed and will review that I do enjoy watching. But White Zombie wasn't exactly the selling point of the set for me, if you will. But I'm curious to know what you guys think. Those of you out there watching, let me know. When it comes to my personal rating for this, if I'm being perfectly honest, I'm going to give it 2 stars out of 5. Simply because of the significance of the film, which I've already touched on a couple times, so I won't repeat it again. But simply for those reasons, I will give it 2 out of 5. What do you guys think out there? If you've seen White Zombie, let me know. Leave your thoughts and comments over here if you're watching the premiere, or if you're watching on demand later in the day, leave your thoughts and comments down there. I'm curious to see what you guys think. But when you get out there on social media, let's try to get those hashtags trending. Hashtag Casa D18 Studios, hashtag Renegades Reviews, hashtag Renegade Returns, and of course, the ever popular hashtag Shenanigans. We interrupt this episode of Renegades Reviews for an important announcement about
merchandising.
Merchandising? What's that?
Merchandising. Come, I'll show you. Merchandising, where the real money's made.
Make sure you go over to teespring.com/stores/Jeff Meacham Network for all the t-shirts you see here from the West Coast professor, Jeff Meacham himself. You can get shirts for the Jeff Meacham Network, Talk Wrestling, as well as the red and gold Meachamania shirts. And while you're there, don't forget to get your shirts of the Casa D18 Studios Brotherhood, the Dads on Wrestling shirt, the Renegade J.J. Williams, Stat Boy Sports Bar, and the hashtag StatBoyApproves make sure you go over to teespring.com/stores/Jeff Meacham Network and score your shirts today. Make sure you guys tune in tomorrow, right back here on the Casa D18 Studios channel for another brand new installment of Renegades Reviews, which will be replayed 1 hour later on the Jeff Meacham Network. Thank you very much, Mr. Meacham. And we will be presenting another 1932 film, this time getting back into the vein of the Universal Monsters. I'll be discussing The Mummy, starring Boris Karloff, Zita Johann, David Manners, Arthur Byron, and Edward Van Sloan. You're not going to want to miss out tomorrow. Right back here on the Casa D18 Studios channel, replayed on the Jeff Meacham Network, when I bring you yet another brand new installment of Renegades Reviews, and I discuss a film that I had never seen all the way through before, Boris Karloff's The Mummy. To all my loyal fans and viewers out there tuning in, enjoying the premiere, leaving your thoughts and comments over here, thank you very much. I greatly appreciate each and every one of you. Likewise, all my loyal fans and viewers out there tuning in a little bit later in the day, watching on demand, leaving your thoughts and comments down here. Thank you very much. I appreciate each and every one of you. I appreciate all my loyal fans and viewers out there that tune in on a regular basis. Show me that love. Show me that support. Going back to the archives, watching old episodes of Renegade of Wrestling, Dads on Wrestling, After the Bell with Jeff Meacham, Stat Boys Rants, the old Renegades Reviews audio show, trying to help me boost up my viewership hours so I can eventually get monetized and make a few bucks on this endeavor. Thank you very much for tuning in and joining me today, and I will see you guys next time.